Heidi, thank you for joining us. And my first question, I was scrolling through your Instagram and I saw, I think it was a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, you posted an elephant that you were working on, an elephant mug.
Yeah, it was a
And
vase.
you,
Place.
okay, a vase. And you kept saying you hope it does well in the drying process.
Mm.
So we need to know, did it do well in the drying process?
It survived. It survived the bisque,
Good.
and it's about to get glazed.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very good. Why were you I'll just follow up real quick. Why were
sure.
you concerned about that one not doing well?
Well, it was a clay body I'm not used to working with, and it's precarious because in the drying process, a lot of times it will either in the really thin parts it'll dry too fast and pieces will fall off,
Mm.
or I'll bump it and it'll get broken. But mostly it's just it's the sculpt was very delicate, and the clay body isn't super friendly to that process. So it's they call it very groggy. It's got a lot of sand in it, so it doesn't keep together too well.
Can you give us like a time frame, like when you put the material on the turntable to the finished product? How long does it usually take? Like, let's say a mug, you're doing a coffee mug.
Sure. So let me preface that mugs are a pound of clay typically, so that's pretty easy to throw. It's just not doesn't take a whole lot of physicality. If it were something heavier like a really large tall vase, that's like 5 to 20 pounds, right? So for a mug, normally it's about 4 minutes of throwing time for me when it's more of a complex shape where it has like a lip on it. It has like kind of rounded edges and shoulders and everything. That's going to take me about 4 minutes to throw. And then I set it off to the side and let it dry for a couple hours. And then I'll handle it pretty much the same day or the next day, unless I put it under plastic to save it. And so it's probably a couple of minutes just to handle it. Handling it, I mean, I'm like literally putting a handle on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And then it's about a week to 2 weeks for it to dry enough for me to put it in the kiln for the bisque fire.
Oh, so it's got to wait. You got to wait to put it in the kiln.
Oh yeah, or what Jen and I were talking about with that elephant. If it dries too fast, it falls apart. If it dries too slow, and I try to put it in the kiln, it'll explode because it has too much moisture content. So it's a lot of science.
Wow.
A lot of hurry up and wait.
That's cool. I didn't know that. I figured that you go straight to the fire with it,
Yeah. No, you have to, and it all depends on the environment. So like if I were in California where it's like low humidity, high heat, it's gonna dry really rapidly if I just left it out, and probably too fast for the clay body. So you're gonna end up with sidewall cracks and all kinds of stuff. So you have to know what your environment is like by either putting plastic over it to slow dry it, or adding some spritzes of water after you throw it so the whole thing's evenly wet, so that like one side of the piece doesn't dry faster than the other side. You have to make sure like air circulation, you don't have a fan blowing on one side versus the other side, because it all has to dry evenly. If you think about it, just like the environment, if it's super humid, the clay is going to hold the humidity in the clay body and it's not going to dry at all. So you're looking at 3-4 weeks unless you figure out a way to speed that up by, putting a dehumidifier in your space.
Wow. It's a lot of babysitting. It seems like a lot of needs a lot of experience to do that. Not just,
It does. And I think that's why a lot of beginner potters are like, either you got it or you don't, like either you have passion to do this and learn how to do it, or you just go to somebody else's studio and decorate their throne pieces, right? Like,
ain't
nothing wrong with that though. Like if you go to a Kiln in Time or whatever those shops are and decorate their pottery, like there's no shame in that. You still made something for yourself. But taking it from either raw clay from the ground or taking it from buying clay from a shop and making something, can be tedious to learn about the clay body. Took me about 2 years probably to do that.